Hey there, math superstars! Welcome back! Today we're diving into one of the coolest topics in all of math, decimals. You use decimals every single day, probably without even realizing it. Every time you see a price tag at the store, like $3.99, or check the scoreboard at a basketball game showing 102.5 points, that's a decimal. By the end of this video, you'll totally understand tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Let's go. So what exactly is a decimal? Great question. A decimal is just a way to show a number that is between two whole numbers. It represents a part of a whole. See that tiny dot in the middle of a number? That's called the decimal point, and it's the most important dot in math. Everything to the left of the dot is a whole number. Everything to the right of the dot is a fraction of a whole, something less than 1. Think of it like this. $1 is a whole, but 25 cents is only part of a dollar. That's exactly what decimals do. They help us be super precise. Here's the secret map to understanding decimals. It's all about place value. You already know that whole numbers have ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands places. Well, decimals keep going in the other direction past the decimal point. The first place after the dot is called the tenths place. The second place is the hundredths place. The third place is the thousandths place. Here's the really cool part. Each place to the right is 10 times smaller than the one before it. So a hundredth is 10 times smaller than a tenth, and a thousandth is 10 times smaller than a hundredth. Mind blown, right? Let's zoom in on tenths first. Imagine you have a chocolate bar and you break it into exactly 10 equal pieces. Each piece is 1/10 of the whole bar, written as 0.1. Here's a money trick to remember it. $1 equals 10 dimes, right? So each dime is 1/10 of a dollar, or $0.10. If you eat 3 pieces of that chocolate bar, you've eaten 3/10, written as 0.3. We say it as 0.3. The one digit right after the decimal point always tells you how many tenths you have. Easy as chocolate. Now let's talk hundredths. If you split that same chocolate bar into 100 equal pieces, each tiny piece is 1/100th, written as 0.01. Money to the rescue again. A penny is 1/100th of a dollar, so 0.01. If you have 47 pennies, that's 47 hundredths of a dollar, 0.47s. You're basically a decimal expert already. Now thousandths go even further. Split something into 1,000 equal parts, and each part is 1,000th, written as 0.001. You might see thousandths in science class, track race times, or even swimming competition scores. 3 decimal places. Super precise. Let's see tenths come to life. Imagine a pizza cut into 10 equal slices. Each slice is 1/10 of the whole pizza. That's 0.1. Now let's say you grab 3 slices. You've taken 3/10 of the pizza, written as 0.3. Watch the fraction bar fill up as we count. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10. See how the bar fills up 3 out of 10 sections? And when we write it as a fraction, 3 over 10 equals 0.3. The digit 3 sits right in the tenths place, just one spot after the decimal point. Boom! Tenths unlocked. Now let's see hundredths using a 10 by 10 grid. That's 100 tiny squares total, just like 100 pennies making $1. Each single square is 1/100th, or 0.01. Let's highlight 25 squares. That's 25 hundredths, written as 0.25. Notice anything? 25 hundredths is the same as a quarter of a dollar, 25 cents. Now let's look at a bar comparison, 0.25 versus 0.7. Even though 0.25 has more digits, it is actually smaller than 0.7. That surprises a lot of people. 7/10 is bigger than 25 hundredths. Always check the place value. Don't be fooled by the number of digits. Okay, ready to go super precise? Let's explore thousandths. We write 1,000th as 0.001. That's a 1 in the third spot after the decimal point. Let's look at the number 0.375. Breaking it down, the 3 is in the tenths place. That's 3/10. The 7 is in the hundredths place, 7/100ths, and the 5 is in the thousandths place, 5/1000ths. Altogether, 375 thousandths. On a number line from 0 to 1, 0.375 sits between 0.3 and 0.4, closer to 0.4. Pretty precise, right? Thousandths show up in Olympic race times, like 9.5 on 78 seconds. Every thousandth counts when you're going for gold. Let's practice reading decimals out loud. This is a skill that trips up a lot of people. The trick is simple. Say the whole number part, say "and" for the decimal point, then say the decimal part followed by the place value name. Let's try 2.4. That's 2 whole units and 4 tenths. Say it as 2 and 4 tenths. Now let's try 5.37. 5 whole units, then 37 in the hundredth spot. 5 and 37 hundredths. One more. 1.052. 1 whole, then 0.52 in the thousandths. 1 and 52 thousandths. Notice how we say the digits after the dot as one group, then name the last place value. You're reading decimals like a champion. Let's connect decimals to something you deal with every day. Money. At the school cafeteria, a slice of pizza costs $3.45. We write that as $3.45. The 3 is the whole dollars. The 4 is in the tenths place. That's 4 dimes or 40 cents. The 5 is in the hundredths place. That's 5 pennies or 5 cents. Now imagine you have $10 and you buy that pizza for $3.45. How much change do you get? That's $6.55. See how decimals line up perfectly with dollars and cents? Every time you count change, you're doing decimal math. You're basically a human calculator. Here's a question that stumps a lot of students. Which is bigger, 0.6 or 0.60 or 0.600? Let's find out using a number line. First, we plot all three on a number line from 0 to 1. Guess what? They all land in the exact same spot. That's because 0.6 equals 6 tenths, 0.60 equals 60 hundredths, which is 6 tenths, and 0.600 equals 600 thousandths, which is also 6 tenths. Adding zeros to the right of a decimal doesn't change its value. Now let's compare 0.4 and 0.45. On the number line, 0.4 comes first, and 0.45 is a little bit to the right, so 0.45 is greater than 0.4. Always line up the decimal points to compare. Before we wrap up, let's talk about the sneaky mistakes that trip students up, so you can avoid them. Mistake number 1. Thinking more digits means a bigger number. Remember, 0.25 is less than 0.3, even though it has more digits. Always look at the place value. Mistake number 2, thinking 0.6 and 0.60 are different. Nope, they're identical. Trailing zeros after a decimal don't change the value. Mistake number 3, comparing apples to oranges. Always line up decimal points and compare the same place values. And lastly, in math class, we only say "and" when we hit the decimal point. So 302 is 302, not 302. You've got this. Look at you. You just leveled up your math game. Let's recap what you've learned today. Decimals are numbers that represent parts of a whole, and the decimal point separates the whole number from the fractional part. The first place after the decimal is tenths, the second is hundredths, and the third is thousandths. Each place is 10 times smaller than the one before it. You can see decimals everywhere, in money, measurements, sports scores, and science. Parents, this is a great topic to practice with your kids using coins. And teachers, try having students read price tags aloud. Keep practicing, stay curious, and remember, every math expert started exactly where you are. You're absolutely crushing it. See you next time.